Welcome to the Health Sport Podcast, a podcast in which we discuss with athletes of all levels, health professionals, and key figures of the sport world. Before presenting this episode's guest, please consider sharing this with your friends and loved ones who could benefit from it. Also, I encourage you to subscribe to the show on whichever platform you're listening to. It helps the podcast grow. This episode's guest likes to be outside a lot. Member of the Canadian Biathlon National Team, he raced his first World Championships in 2025 and aims for the 2026 Olympic Games. He's also aiming to be the youngest and the fastest person ever to reach the 58 Canadian Rockies peaks above 11,000 feet. Please welcome Haldan Borglum. Haldan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Felix.
So last year you went to the World Championship in biathlon, and I don't want to jinx you, but you're on the verge of making Alberta mountaineering record book. How these two disciplines work together in your life's goal fulfillment?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I wouldn't have stumbled upon my passion for mountaineering without the biathlon. It's a funny story. Obviously started with biathlon full time after high school, and a few years into that, COVID began, and there wasn't really any competition, and I had to do something with all that time. So I started getting into the mountains, and it's been a slow build, but started with scrambles, which is just hiking using your hands, so just very easy climbing basically, and then have progressively stepped it up over the years, and I'm now doing some of the tougher ones in the range. So it's pretty sweet, but they definitely, I think, help or benefit each other. It's the endurance from the biathlon side helps in the mountains, and then I've also found that the mountain stuff helps on the biathlon side mentally. It gives me mental toughness for sure, but then also just great endurance training. So it's great to diversify and then feel fresh when I'm back at the range for a roller ski session.
You're a guy who loves to be outside.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it.
To be outside and on the snow.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities to be outside on the snow in Canmore or just in the Canadian Rockies. I was out for a number of trips this past spring and summer, and it doesn't matter how warm it is. There's going to be snow on those glaciers, right? So, yeah.
How did you start biathlon?
It was actually I got into Nordic combined initially when I was, I think, 7 or 8. It was just through some
Cross-country
camp.
skiing and ski jumping?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Started doing that when I was 7 or 8, just through some camp, I guess. Tried a few different sports, and my parents were like, "Oh, he seems to like this ski jumping one." So did that for a little while, and then had a nasty wipeout where I basically at the top of this small ski jump. It was just 18 meter, so just a little thing. But when you're 8 years old, it feels pretty gnarly, and your skis have to fall into the track, so you have to commit. And yeah, I was definitely nervous, so I just went for it. But then I pizzaed before I got on the tracks and just slid on my butt all the way down these metal grooves. It wasn't winter at the time. That was they do it in the summer too. So yeah, that was my last jump. And then the coaches knew each other, the biathlon coach and the Nordic combined coach, and the Nordic combined coach knew I liked cross country skiing more. So yeah, recommended it, and I've stuck with it ever since.
And then add a eye rifle on it, just to be part
What's
of
not
it.
to like? Skiing and shooting guns.
Oh. when we have kids around trying biathlon, it's like, do you want to ski? Do you like to ski? Yes. Do you want to shoot guns? What? You can do that? Yeah. And they always like, oh wow.
What kid wouldn't want to do that? Shoot guns? Heck yeah, sign me up.
Shoot guns on targets.
Yeah.
And Were you doing ski jumping in Canmore?
No, there isn't any ski jumping site in Canmore. There actually isn't any more in Calgary either. But at the Canada Olympic Park, or is it Canada Olympic Park? It's COP. It's in Calgary. Um, and yeah, they have a bunch of ski jumps there, but they have since been closed. So I don't think there is a set of ski jumps in Whistler, but I also think those aren't usable. So the current ski jumping team is in Slovenia year-round training. So yeah, kind of a rough situation there for them.
Because in Quebec, we have at the Le Relais, we have for module skiing, the acrobatic ski jumping. We have slides. Usually in the summer, we have a summer competition. It's really weird.
Oh yeah.
We have a ski jumping competition, but it's not it's doing tricks and everything. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
really
that's
nice.
the one where in the summer they like land on a big not
Pool.
pillow, but
It's a pool.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, pool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they do the tricks and they just land in the water and they get out and they jump again.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. And after that, you started biathlon at the age of 8, 9?
Yeah, around 9. Yeah. So, long time ago.
And how was your progression toward the national team?
Well, yeah, I was definitely a slower developer. I didn't grow as much when I was younger. Um, I yeah, vividly remember thinking, well, I'm done with biathlon. Once I was about to graduate high school, I was like, well, I'm just gonna go to university. Um, but yeah, thanks to my coach at the time, Tyson Smith, doing some serious convincing, decided to give full time a shot. And yeah, just it hasn't always been easy. Once I took up full time, there were definitely setbacks along the way. Um, yeah, I feel like most years I had to really hash it out whether I wanted to go another year or go to school. It's always a tough call, but yeah, I always decide to keep pushing, and yeah, year after year, I'd get a result that I thought was worth going for another year and another, and here we are going for the Olympics. So it's exciting.
Just 1 year. Just one more year. Just
Just
one
one
more
more
year.
year. Yeah.
This, as you said, this year's Olympic year. Have you changed anything from your training plan this year to try to get something more out of it, or you stay on the path of the same all years since you have a nice progression?
I've definitely upped my hours. And I've also switched up my intensity a bit. I thought some things maybe weren't working how I wanted them to, like some MAS they're called, but like maximum aerobic strength sessions. I thought they weren't really benefiting me too much, so it's been more zone 3 and zone 4 specific targeted sessions, and I'm hoping those will pay off this winter.
And you have done a lot of mountaineering this year,
Oh yeah.
more than the previous years.
Uh, I would say probably a bit more. Um, but I've been doing quite a bit in the past years too. So hard to say.
You were saying that mentally it really helps to do mountaineering when you have to go deep into pain cave.
Mm.
In biathlon, if you have race one time, you know, you can go really deep into the pen cave during a biathlon race.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any catchphrase or sentence that you tell yourself when it's hard during a biathlon race?
Ooh, one catchphrase. Hmm. Was that specific for biathlon or for mountaineering as well?
Can go to for mountaineering too.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for biathlon, if it's like really sucking, I'm just thinking, oh, it'll be over soon. Like the biathlon races are relatively short.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use that one mountaineering because sometimes it's not over soon.
You have quite a lot of experience in biathlon. Like for me, I've raced for 8 years, I think. We all have one favorite race that we have done, that we have raced, and that we can remember every details of it.
Hmm.
Which one's yours?
Ooh, I have a few highlights, but I think the crown definitely goes to the men's relay at World Championships last season in Lenzerheide. That was my last international race of the season. Um, yeah, that last season we were fighting hard. Everybody on the World Cup circuit, on the Canadian team, we were fighting hard to get 4 men's spots at the Olympics, as I'm sure you know. And so, yeah, we're fighting for every last spot we can get. And I was the anchor in this relay. And I remember, so yeah, the team was Adam Runnels, then Logan Pletz, uh, or maybe Logan was first. But
Zach?
anyway, those two, then Zach Connolly, then me. And I remember waiting for the tag. I'm in the tag zone, and I'm looking at the big screen, and I see Johannes Bo is zipping down the huge hill in Lenzerheide, which means he's almost at the right, like he's almost to the stadium, and I'm like still waiting in the stadium. So I'm just thinking like, oh gosh, is this going to be like a 1 lap send here? Uh, and then Zach and I think Team Lithuania, maybe Estonia, and then Latvia was a bit behind. We're all coming in together, and Zach tags me, and he's like, "Sprint, like 1 lap." And how it works when you're just like trying to outrun the leader, and you're expecting to get lapped in the first shooting, um, is whoever is on the lowest mat number while the leader skis past. That's your order. So basically, the objective was beat these other guys to the range. So we blast out of there and we're like in a full sprint, just like hammering. I'm doing everything I can, just staying on these guys. And then we like work through the course, get to the last like big hill. There's like a huge hill in Lenzerheide, right at the end. And then it kind of swings and then big descent all the way to the stadium. And so I like try to work over the top to make a gap, really go for it. And then, yeah, into the downhill, but they caught the draft and then they swing by me when we were like coming into the stadium. So I'm like, no, crud. Uh, so yeah, still trying to put in work there, but couldn't do anything about it. Uh, we file into our lanes and I'm like third out of these 4 teams. So I'm just like, oh, I blew it. Well, nothing left now but to like try to hit these targets as fast as I can, maybe survive. And yeah, I probably the fastest prone shooting of my career. I like lay down, take like 0 breaths, and I just sprinted into the range. So I'm like cooked.
Toast.
Um, and I hit 4 for 5 in like I don't know. It was like hardly any set time, like a 1.3 seconds between shots, and then I like load one spare, miss it. I'm like, oh god, load the second one, hit it. Don't even look back. Throw the rifle on, out of there. I think it was like 30 seconds for 2 spares. So definitely the fastest time I've ever had for 7 shots. And none of the other teams that were on the mats there hit all their targets. So they all were immediately knocked out. And yeah, I didn't even look back, but apparently Johannes Bo was like not too far behind
Oh
at
yeah,
that point. Yeah.
I was
And
watching the race.
oh yeah, yeah. It was crazy. But yeah, then I exit the range and there's just so many thoughts going through my head. First, I'm just like, holy crap, I did it. Like we got those guys. And I'm just thinking, well, I do kind of want to finish this race, but I just paced for 1 lap. Uh, so I'm just going and I'm like spent. I'm messed up. Um, and yeah, I remember doing the first bit of the course. Then you get to this really steep, you make a hard right, steep hill where there's like a big stand and there's an announcer. And they're like, and the Canadian's still here. And they're going crazy. And then like 10 seconds later, he starts announcing Johannes, and they're going ballistic, and I'm just like, oh god, skiing for my life. And then yeah, you go over that hill, come down a bit, and then there's like the little bridge, and then the last huge climb. And I just remember going down this hill, starting up the bridge, and like I'm dying, and then looking down while offsetting, and I see a fissure behind me, and I'm just like, oh no. So pretty much from there, I was pedal to metal, like going as hard as I could, and I guess Johannes Bo could tell that I was fighting hard to finish this race, so he decided to spare me and just stayed in the draft. And yeah, I got to do a victory lap after and cross the finish line. So it was pretty sweet. The boys were stoked.
Because for the people who doesn't know biathlon, is that during a relay, if you get lapped, like the first one pass the last one, you cannot finish the race. So all the team is done. You cannot finish. So having Johannes just stepping it back a little bit and not passing you, you deserved it.
It was a good feeling.
And like Johannes is one of the greatest of the biathlon history. So he's really fast on skis.
There are some videos that I got to see from like after the fact. And I'm just like fully in the pain cave. Like you can tell I'm dying, but I'm one skating up this. And Johannes is like right in my draft, one skating, and then he's occasionally like waving at fans. It's like, man, this guy's insane.
Yeah. It's you get at one point during an athlete career that when you see the top of the world, so you're the best at your high school, you go up to college, you're the best at college, you go to university, you're still the best at university, you go on junior national team, you get the best, you go on senior team, on national team, your country team, you're good, you can be the best. When you get to race against the best of the world, it's another crowd. It's just something else.
Oh yeah,
And
that's wild.
at one point, some athletes they can see it as a challenge trying to get those guys. But for other athletes, sometimes the fight is so hard to do that you're starting to think about other options. But you need to be a fighter to be at the top. Do
Oh
you
yeah, for
consider
sure.
yourself as as a fighter?
Yeah, I would say so, for sure. Um, yeah, training from a very young age and just being quite competitive in general. Um, and then yeah, doing it for so long. For sure, I'd say after doing it for years and years, there are days where I'm like, oh God, I don't want to suffer today. But especially like working through a long season, I feel like I race into better shape. Like you train all spring, summer, and fall, and you definitely get the base fitness. But through more racing, I'd say I get tougher. So yeah, as much as it hurts, I'd say yeah, I'm a fighter for sure.
And you said at the beginning that your progression was quite smooth. Nothing really like you were not. Were you a young athlete that were winning every race?
Oh, definitely not. Um, like I was a late developer, so especially when I was younger, it was like a couple medals a season, maybe, if even that. I think when I was in grade 12, last year of high school, and also my last year in the youth man category, my personal best in nationals was like a fourth. So I was never on the cusp. Um, or like, yeah, I was never like on top of the podium, which is why I was kind of like conflicted or like didn't plan to continue. Um, and then yeah, even into my junior years, was, especially my first year, I was just kind of in the mix. Second year, I didn't make a tour, and that was kind of like a year where I had to really reflect and say, okay, like if I'm gonna keep going for this, I gotta be all in, like put everything on the line to try to make it. And thankfully, I put the work in and have had success since. Um, but yeah, it's been a it's been a hard fight throughout, but I think that's honestly for the best in some ways because it's taught me good habits of being a hard worker and putting in the tough training sessions. So,
Uh, I want to talk about your on your website. You said that this year it's your 17th season, biathlon season, and it's also going to be your last. How have you come to this decision?
well, the Olympics are like such a big thing. I was considering stopping 2 years ago, to be honest. But yeah, given that I got my World Cup debut and really wanted to see what was possible, decided to continue. And yeah, I feel like it would be a shame not to see what could happen. Like just a year or two. I've already been in it for so long. Might as well see it through. But yeah, 17 years at the same time is a long time. I don't make money from doing biathlon. It's an expense for sure. Um, so yeah, that's part of it. But also just
What's
other.
the what's what's the reality of the financial side of a national team biathlete in Canada?
Well, if you want to race the whole season, the whole competitive season, you start in mid-November and it goes all the way until the end of March, pretty much. And that will set you back anywhere from like 15 to 20,000. And that's not including equipment fees, that's not including team fees, camp fees, rent, gas, groceries, you name it. So it's definitely not cheap. And there is support out there. There's carding, things like that. But that usually just goes back into sport. So it's not like you're making a profit. It's just like bare minimum, you're self-sustaining. So it definitely makes it tough to manage long term.
Do you get sponsors, funds?
I actually was recently sponsored by Can Fund. Yeah, I'm really appreciative. They help a lot of Canadian athletes. I think thousands of athletes over the past years, and yeah, they will definitely their support will help me this season for sure. So I won't have to be worrying about the monetary side so much, and can focus on vying for those Olympic spots.
How does it work? Can funds? Do you know? Do you need to apply? Is it from Biathlon Canada that they give names and then they select?
Basically, 1 second. So yeah, Can Fund is it's a supportive branch for athletes, and it's all set up by donations. So um, basically, funding throughout Canada for sports is it's tough, regardless of the sport. It's a pretty consistent theme that athletes have a hard time. They're working jobs on the side while trying to perform at the best. It's a tricky situation. So yeah, it's a big thing what they're doing, supporting athletes, and yeah, I'm really appreciative of them choosing to support me and everyone that's backed them to give them the ability to support athletes. Um, yeah, if you're interested in learning more, definitely check out their website.
Yeah. Can funds on Google and can find the thing as quite easily. I think. And do you have any sponsors?
I'm supported by Garmin and Lecky and Rossignol.
Okay, equipment companies.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I've been with all three of those brands for a good chunk of my full-time career, so appreciative of them big time.
Because equipment is quite a big chunk of the financial budget for a year. You have
Mm,
racing, you have equipment, you have food, lodging, as you said, and travel. So if you can get each section of the budget one by one
yeah,
funded, is really helpful.
yeah, every bit counts for sure.
Is there any lesson that you learned from biathlon that you will bring into your life after your biathlon career?
Oh, for sure. Definitely numerous lessons. Yeah, I feel like biathlon's given me a lot of wisdom along the way. Um, I'd say the one that hits home the most is that sometimes your uh, setbacks can lead to your greatest victories if you're willing to look back and analyze why that happened and actually put a new plan into action. Um, but also just general things like having grit, resilience. Um, Biathlon's also quite a savage sport, I would say, because it's kind of similar to, I'd say, golf or basketball with the clutch factor. You have to make those shots, but then it's also physical. But yeah, I'd say with biathlon, it's tough because you could train for decades and still have a bad race, and then you have to show up the next day and try your best to have a good race. So it's yeah, even after 17 years can be tough, but yeah, it's great for just like reminding you that every day's a new day, and you just have to approach it with the same mentality and be ready to do your absolute best. And if it doesn't go your way, then that happens, and think about it, but don't let it bring you down, and be ready for the next one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because one of the things I have brought from biathlon is that you said a new day is a new race, but like every target. So like you can do something and 2 seconds later, it's something completely new. If
Hmm.
you refocus, I, I find it that it's one of the quickest sports mentally, how mentally sharp you need to be to do biathlon, shooting, like the shooting you did at the World Championship in the relay, like you were four teams, you were the one who was able to stay alive in this race.
Hmm. Yeah.
The other got lapped. So mentally, you need to be so strong and to make the switch. So you had something bad happening, you missed the target. Okay, fine. Up to the next one.
Hmm.
And the next one is still a 50% chance you miss, 50% chance you get it. It's a binary situation, yes or no. So
Mm.
it's a new yes or no situation. And when you get into the working place, sometimes you can make a bad decision in your boardroom, but right after in the same meeting, you can get another great idea right after that. So so fun as a sport biathlon. You learn so much about life in it.
Yeah, beautiful, but also horrible sometimes. But that's how it goes. You could miss the first shot in a 20-shot race and then hit the next 19, or if you get down on it, you could miss the first one and like mentally check out and then miss a whole bunch more. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's about how you look at it, and yeah, it's definitely been a great teacher for me, for sure.
And the trials are coming up,
They
and
are.
if I remember well, it's the best two race out of three.
Yeah,
They do
that's how it's
selection like
running this
this.
year.
So if you miss your first race, the two next race need to be perfect to be selected to go on the first tour. And if you miss three shots on your first bout on a sprint, sorry, but the next two race gonna be rough, and you need to be sharp on those twos.
Hmm.
I remember one athlete, I won't name her, but she was on Team Can for national team. She did biathlon for 15 years. She never qualified for the Olympics. And at one trials, the first race, she missed 3. So she got 2 races left to try to make her spot. So, and after that, usually it was a sprint pursuit, I think. So you have 30 targets left. So every target is 3%. You gotta be perfect on each one.
Yeah.
So that's biathlon.
High stakes, high pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've talked a lot about biathlon. So we're gonna go high now. We're gonna go into mentoring.
Sweet.
So you talked about it earlier a little bit that during COVID it came back. But were you doing a little bit of alpine skiing when you were younger?
Yeah, my dad had me on alpine skis when I was like 2 in one of those harness things. Um, yeah, so been on skis for a long time, and yeah, we did a few hikes together. I came up through the club, Foothills Nordic Ski Club, based out of Calgary, and they do a number of hikes like most weekends in summer. So that was kind of like the start of it for sure.
Can you explain what is mentoring?
The actual definition of mountaineering is just like the things required to scale a mountain. So everything that encompasses, whether that's like a steep section where you're rock climbing and you need to have the gear for that, ropes, trad gear, your harness, all of that, or it could be on a glacier, or it could be snowy bridge, cornices, backcountry skiing on the way down, you name it. Like everything involved in getting up and down the mountain.
And right now you're trying. What are you trying to do with the 11,000ers Canadian Rockies?
Right now, the goal is to get the speed record and youngest completionist record. It wasn't that at the start. At first, I mean, I was aware of these peaks. It's 58 11,000-foot peaks along the strip of the Canadian Rockies. 11,000 feet, for those not familiar, is 3,353 meters. So they're up there. And yeah, when I was just doing local stuff around Canmore, I remember stumbling upon some trip reports for these peaks, and I was like, "Oh wow, those look pretty wild. I don't know if I'll ever do that." But here we are, and I did my first few and was hooked, and have been able to check them off quite quickly. So yeah, at a certain point, I was like, "Okay, might as well go for speed here. Why not?" Um, and yeah, I'm currently at 45 out of 58, and I think it's been 470 days. Right now it's mid-October, so by December, 500 something days. Aiming for 2.5 years, um, and the record's 5.5 years. So we're on track.
Oh, and can you do it year long? But in the winter you're racing in Europe, so
Yeah,
you can be doing it.
in theory, I could be doing it while I was racing. Um, but yeah, obviously, I'm trying to manage these two things. Um, but yeah, pretty much once I'm back from the season, I'll be able to go again. In the winter would generally be the more dangerous time because avalanche conditions are more serious. But once it gets to late April, May, you have spring conditions again, so you can get out on those objectives and backcountry ski as long as you start early enough. So looking forward to that.
It is a dangerous sport.
Mountaineering.
Uh,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's inherent danger for sure. Um, yeah, I've had a few near misses, I guess you could say, which always reminds you of the seriousness of those wild places. But yeah, definitely need to know your stuff.
I've seen that in August, you had quite a situation with one hike. You want to tell the story?
I wouldn't call it a hike, but
Yeah.
yeah.
One of
Yeah.
these expeditions. One of those expeditions.
Yeah, I have a few stories, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, this one is called Delta Form Mountain. It's behind the iconic Moraine Lake. That's like one of the biggest tourist spots in Lake Louise. And yeah, me and my buddy Troy Martel, actually a former biathlete, were going for this peak, and it's a big day. Basically, you can't drive up to Moraine Lake anymore because they have it as shuttles only, and it's impossible to book them because they're always booked up by tourists and influencers. So we parked in downtown Lake Louise and did the 15K bike up to Moraine Lake. And then from there, you lock up bikes, and it's a 10K hike to Wangchemna Pass. And then from there, you ascend. And basically, this mountain delta form is behind another mountain, Neptuak. So you go up that one, you descend a little bit, and then you go up to the actual summit that we're going for. And yeah, after summiting, it had been like a beautiful ascent, like bluebird, perfect, no clouds or anything. And we were making great time. And then we got to the summit, and a few clouds were starting to build. So we were like, okay, we're not going to hang out for long. Started descending. Um, and then, yeah, we were doing our first rappel off the false summit, full 60-meter, get down, and we're pulling the rope, and classic Rockies. It's loose up there. A few rocks dislodged as we're pulling it through the anchor, and yeah, we like both tried to get out of the way, but unfortunately, Troy didn't get out of the way fast enough, and one about yeah, it was like a plate, a thick plate the size of a watermelon, hit him in the uh, calf muscle on his right leg. Um, and yeah, the pain was pretty bad. Like he said, it was the most painful thing he's ever felt. Uh, so yeah, I had a feeling it was pretty serious. I wasn't sure if we were going to need to heli out at that point, but once he could, once it wasn't insane pain anymore, he was able to put weight on it. So he figured that it wasn't broken and that he could get out on his own. Uh, so yeah, from there it went from like being a nice, fun day out with friends to like, oh god, this is a super serious situation. Because yeah, if you've seen the pictures of Delta Form, like especially with we're only one rappel down, it's super committing. Like you're at the top of this crazy mountain, and we still had to descend and then go back up the other mountain and then descend to the pass. Like we're in there. Um, but yeah, basically, yeah, he couldn't use his foot very much. I lent him my pole, and he's like limping over to the next rappel station, and then I'm setting it up, rappelling, getting the tangles out of the rope. Then he comes, rappels, and then starts heading over to the next one while I coil up the rope and go over to set it up. So yeah, it was full on. But yeah, we after like hours of that, and then getting back up Neptuak, going down that, having the weather hit. So there was like that factor as well, like racing against crazy conditions in the mountains, which didn't help us. We finally get back to the pass. And just for perspective, we started at 5:30 a.m. from Lake Louise downtown, and we got back to the pass, and I think it was like 10:30, 11 p.m. So it's been a while. Yeah. And we still had
18
to
hours.
do this 10K exit on his bad leg. And then, yeah, that was a whole thing. Like, obviously, he can't move very fast, and I'm not going to ditch him, but I'm like borderline falling asleep with how slow we're going. And we have like a couple nap breaks along the way, like, we're messed up. And then we finally get to the bikes, um, do this like coast out. Thankfully, it was like descending pretty much like for the most part, so that was more reasonable. But we finally get back to the car. It's 3:30 a.m. So that's a 22-hour day right there. And then we weren't in the mood, or I certainly wasn't in the mood to sleep in the car. So I was like, okay, I'll drive. And probably one of the harder drives I've had to do, just like white knuckling the steering wheel, trying to stay awake. And then, yeah, finally got back at some crazy hour and got a few hours of sleep before waking up in the morning. And Troy obviously went straight to the hospital, and didn't take long for them to let him know that he actually had a broken fibula. So descended all of Delta form on a broken leg. Yeah, tough guy.
Tough guy. You need
Yeah,
to be mentally strong, or just 1 meter, one more meter, one more meter.
yeah. He was doing a lot of that. I don't know if I could have done that. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Wow. I hope he's recovering well.
Yeah, he it wasn't the worst of breaks, which was good. Basically, it was like, I think they call it a green branch fracture, so it's kind of just like a crack, but not like a full snap.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, they gave him a 6-week recovery time. I might be getting that wrong. Maybe it was more like 4, but it was surprisingly short. And yeah, he's fully better now. So yeah, other than maybe some like slight off feelings in the calf, or like when he runs, I think he's all good. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
could have been a lot worse if that rock
Yeah.
hit anywhere else, or like, I mean, if that happened to me, my season's probably over. So yeah, definitely a stroke of luck there.
Probably. Yeah. It's quite a dangerous sport. To do it, you must have a really big rush, or you must have uh, a why inside of you to do this. When you're doing those expedition, which moment during the expedition make you the most proud of yourself?
Good question. Um, I mean, obviously, reaching the top is pretty special, um, especially when it's these wild objectives that not many people get the chance to stand on top of. Um, so yeah, I'd say that's a big part of it. But I'd say also just like being out in these wild places is pretty special. Um, like some of these are so remote that even just doing, like, to put it in perspective for those that aren't familiar with this list of peaks or like the mountains in the Canadian Rockies in general, this isn't like the Alps where every valley has like a little town where you can spend a night. This is like um, multi-day. You have camping gear. Like I'd say about half of these peaks at least are not day trippable. So you're carrying like a 50 to 60 pound pack in, lots of food and supplies, and you're getting back there. One in particular that I'm thinking of is Sar Mountain, which is like one of the more remote ones, and it was from Golden, BC, drive a bit north before going 140 kilometers out on Forest Service roads, driving before starting the approach on foot, which is like 30K back. And then the next day you go for the summit. So it's remote. It's very remote. So just getting to these camps, where you're like completely in the wilderness, I'd say is a big part of it for me. Just like seeing these crazy places that not many people get to see is so special. I really think that's a huge part of it for me.
Is it what's motivating you to pursue mountaineering?
What was that?
Is going to those places giving you the motivation to continue mountaineering, even though all the dangers that could occur?
I would say so. Um, yeah, although there is like there are risks, there is danger. Um, I would say that it's not as risky as some may think. Um, Especially if you have the knowledge, have the experience, know what you're doing. Not, you aren't being foolhardy and pushing when you shouldn't, like if weather comes in or something. I definitely think a good chunk of the risks can be mitigated, but obviously not 100%. It's never going to be 100% safe. Um, but yeah, I would say just like, yeah, seeing all those wild places, it definitely is worth it for me, even if there is some risk. I'm super passionate about it, and have been for like my whole life. Just didn't know how much when I was younger, but yeah, I would definitely like to see more wild places, even outside of Canada, in the next few years.
If there's anyone who wants to try mountaineering, what would be your first tip to start?
Ooh, it really depends where they are, honestly. When I say where they are, I mean like what they've done already. Are they physically fit? Have they hiked before? How I started was just hiking from a young age, building that fitness, and then at a certain point, starting to do easy scrambles, um, and then slowly working to moderate scrambles, difficult scrambles, and then somewhere between difficult scrambles and climbing, it starts getting a bit gray. It's what many would consider easy climbing, but some will call it a climber scramble. It's not really scrambling at that point. Like if you fell, it wouldn't be good. Could be fatal. But yeah, just slowly progressing there is what I would recommend. And then at a certain point, getting the glacier training. Glaciers are serious, so you need to know your stuff. Getting your avalanche training, and then having some strong partners, and you're probably ready to go for some cool objectives.
Do you have any books or YouTube channel that you like about mountaineering?
I books. Let's see. Yeah, I would say I don't necessarily have a book in mind in particular, but the 11,000ers of the Canadian Rockies is like, I mean, it's the list of the peaks, right? So that's been pretty big for me. Um, YouTube wise, um, I'd say, yeah, I'm not so sure. I don't really, I have people that I aspire to or I'm a big fan of, but I wouldn't say that YouTube or books are the way I know them or follow them.
Why do you follow them?
More Instagram or their achievements. I'm sure you're familiar with Killian Jornet. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a very impressive guy for sure. So yeah, definitely a big follower of him.
I have one funny questions to ask you before the last one.
Sure.
Do you find yourself listening to your sister's music before a race or during an expedition?
I, to be honest, haven't. It's not necessarily the pump up music, but good for some relaxation.
What's her Spotify if you want to shoot out to your sister?
It's yeah, I'll shout her out for sure. It's Erica May. That's ErikaMae. She just released her first single a couple weeks ago. So
It's
yeah.
good. It's
Oh
good.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want
More on the way.
when when I saw your story, I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to it. It's it's a little bit country pop, I think, but
Mm.
it's uh it's on my style. Sometimes you need those kind of music. So I was wondering if but do you have like songs from her that are not released or cover songs from her on your phone? Sometimes.
Yeah, I have them. Yeah. I'll they'll sometimes end up in the shuffle. I'll be like, "Oh, I know who that is."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
There's one question that I ask every guest is what does it mean to you to be healthy?
Ooh, I mean, it's a good question. Health is everything. Um, yeah, I feel like you can feel like you have problems and then your health goes and then you have real problems. So, yeah, uh, health is definitely like number one, I'd say, for sure.
That's a definition to be healthy.
Yeah, I mean, do you want my definition on health, or my take on what being healthy means to me?
You can go on your definition of health.
Yeah, I mean, being physically active, I feel like is super important. If you're, it's like, especially once you get to a certain age, it's like use it or lose it, and like even in later age, if you haven't been athletically active, it's not too late. But I think it's definitely important for sure. Definitely to manage that and take care of your body, because yeah, especially as you get older, you're gonna want to stay healthy as long as you can and stay functioning. So yeah, staying fit is the best way to do that, I would say. And obviously eating healthy and everything that comes with that is also important. Sleep.
Yeah, I totally agree. I always ask this question because I have a lot of different answers from guests,
Oh yeah.
and it goes all over the board, and it's really nice to get all those together and find what's work. Where everyone everyone has their own definition of this.
Yeah, everyone has a different background, right? So
Yeah,
that's understandable.
and reality also.
For sure.
Sometimes there's difference and answers from young people, and when I have guests from 40, 50 years old, it's completely different. It's
Oh yeah.
it's quite nice to see those definitions.
Yeah, very different perspectives there. So that
Yeah.
makes sense.
If the listeners want to get to know you more, where they can reach you or find you on social media?
Yeah, my Instagram is Haldan.Borglum. That's HALDAN.BORGLUM. I also have a website that I released this June, just haldanborglum.com. If you want to check out my latest mountaineering endeavors, they aren't going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, I'll be keeping that updated. But yeah, I'd like to start a YouTube eventually, but don't have anything like that yet.
And if you want to see nice pictures, go on his website.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
lot of beautiful pictures. And I'm gonna wish you the best for the biathlon season.
Thank you, Felix. Appreciate it.
I hope to see you in my TV in February.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
it
Got to
will
work
be.
hard for it.
Yeah, and have fun. That's what I'm gonna say. Whatever happened, have fun.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Felix.
Have a great day, Alden.
You too. Have a good one.
Thank you to have listened to this episode of the show. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, leave a rating and review. It really does help. And for more content, please follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. See you next time.